Today is lesson 22, the introduction. And what happens when we are factoring polynomials, but we no longer have just one part, just the third term to make factors. We still have to build the rows and columns, right? Mm-hmm. Remember the third term, we look at the factors, we try to arrange rows and columns so that the x's add up to be the second term. Well, lesson 22 takes it one step a little bit further with this idea. What happens when you have a first term different than x squared? This is interesting. And again, if you got in the habit that I wanted you to get into in the last lesson, in lesson 21, then this will be a little bit easier. Okay, so let's go through these, but we're going to do the same as we did in lesson 21. We're going to build first, okay, because we do want to visualize it. So, how do we build 2x squared?
Two big red boxes.
Okay, so we're going to put two red boxes. So we have two of those. We have three x's. So three blue rectangles, right? Mm-hmm. And here we only have one unit. Now we have to arrange those to form an overall big rectangle. How could we do that? Any ideas?
We could put the big box, the red box, in the side.
Yeah.
And those two.
These two?
Yeah. Put them one laying down. Yeah.
Like that?
Yes. And the other one too.
Okay.
And then we can put the green box
in the space.
Yeah.
Okay. And so this is one way of doing it, and that gives us our overall rectangle, the area, and so this would become, where is the length and the width of the sides of this rectangle?
The length would be 2x squared.
No, just the length. These are the x squares.
Yeah, x squared.
No.
2x plus 1. Yeah.
2x plus 1, because the distance from here to, look at the board, look at the board. The distance from here to here is x. From here to here is x, so that's 2x. But the distance of the width of these blue rectangles are just 1. So this is x, that's 2x plus 1. And then the width of the rectangle would be what? What's the width of the rectangle?
X plus 1.
X plus 1. And there you go. So we can factor this down into x plus 1 times 2x plus 1. Now, to check it, again, we know that x plus times 2x will give us 2x squared. We know 1 times 1 will give us 1. The only thing we really need to check are this, and this. Does that add up to be 3x? Let's see. X times 1 1x. 1 times 2x. Yes, those add up to be 3x, so we know we have factored it correctly. Okay? Questions? The idea here is lesson 22 makes it a little bit more interesting because the first term now has a coefficient other than 1. In other words, there's a number in front of that first term besides 1. Okay? And when that's the case, you have to do, okay, listen to me carefully. Gotta watch me here. When the first term has something other than 1, the number part. The number part in front of x is called a coefficient. Okay? So when the first term has a coefficient, a number other than 1, you have to do the factors of the first term the same way you do the factors of the third term. This is why last time I told you put the factors of the third term on the right, because on the left you're going to have to put the factors of the first term. Okay? Now let's go back and see how we're going to do this in our head. We've already done the first one. Okay? We already drew it out. I lost the picture, but hey, we have the recording. So if you ever want to go back and see it, we do. You can. It's there. But we know that this can be factored down to 2x plus 1 times x plus 1. I think I had the order opposite. Let me stop the video and check it. Oh yes, I was right. I had the order different. I just checked it. We're continuing with the video now. Okay. What did I want to say now? Okay. So how would we do this problem without building it? Okay. We follow pretty much the same steps. I told you to write the factors of the third term on the right. And so we will do that. And then on the left, we write the factors of the coefficient. Well, 2 only has, it's kind of like 1. There's only one combination. 1 times 2 is 2. And we still have to do what we did last time. We have to find a combination of the 2 that add up to give me 3x. I'm still going to have to put, all right, there's only one pattern for 1 and 2. So I'm going to have to say 1x times 2x. There's only one option, right, for 2x squared. And this is not really a difficult example because there's only one option for my 1's. Okay, but I put them in order and I check. I have to check because in the future problems there's going to be multiple options, and you know, I have to check which one works. Okay? This is why the checking is important, because there are multiple combinations. In this example, there's only one possibility, so it doesn't really show the multiple combinations, but the other examples will. Eliana, you had a question.
Have you been writing on the board?
Yep.
Oh, that's why I was confused. That's why I don't understand anything you're saying. Is because I can't see it.
Okay. I'm not.
I tried reloading it and it didn't work, so I might need to leave and join again.
Okay. Try that.
Okay.
Everybody else, Lucas and Jacob, y'all can see okay? Yes, Lucas?
Yeah, I have one question. So in this case, you write 1x plus 1, but not x plus 1? How is that? I don't understand that.
Well, the 1 is invisible. Remember, it's invisible. It's okay to write it, or it's okay not to write it.
Okay, but
1x.
In the other examples, in the last class, we were like writing x plus, or yeah, it was like x plus 2 or x plus 3, but you got here like 2x plus 1. Why do you have 2x?
Okay, can you see my finger on the board?
Yes.
Okay, that's because this lesson 22 is about, it's because the coefficient of the first term in these problems are no longer 1.
Oh, okay.
So we have to do factors of the first term the same way we did factors of the third term.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay, yeah. Now
that's lesson 22. It's the same as lesson 21, except a little bit harder.
Without drawing.
With the drawing, with the building. But now, instead of just doing the factors of the third term, you have to do the combination of both. Because you have to get the factors of 2x squared. Remember, we are building a rectangle. And the length times width has got to give you 2x squared plus 3x plus 1. Close door, please. Almost. Thanks, Amy. Okay. We all understand?
Yeah.
Again, this example was too easy. Let me finish saying something for you, Lucas. If we did not put the 2x there, this does not give me the product up there, because x times x will give me x squared, not 2x squared.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah? So we do have to get the factors of the first term and the factors of the third term and see what combination of both factors added together give us the second term. Woo! Did you follow that?
Sort of.
Yeah. Question, Amy.
Now, okay. So the first time we did this easy example, we did it drawing, building it, yeah?
Yeah.
So what you're trying to say is that we need to try to know the correct answer without building it, and to do what we did last lesson, but with the first.
That's right. That's the idea of lesson 22.
Okay.
It's the exact same thing, except now you have two sets of factors to put a combination. And only one combination of those two sets of factors will actually give you the second term. Let's look at number 2. It'll be easier. First, you can see what I'm talking about. First, let's build it. Okay? You start. Why don't you do it on your paper? Start number 2. We have 3x squares. Okay? And you're going to have to take those. 13 x's. That's going to be a lot of boxes to draw. 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, we want to arrange these. That's 8, 9, so that when we do rows and columns, that's 12, 13. There's my 13 x's. When I do rows and columns, I will only have 4 green boxes. So again, what the picture will help you see is, even though that there's only 4 green boxes, it's the first term that doubles up things. See if you can draw the picture. If you got the picture, you can put it in the chat box.
I think so.
Okay. Okay. Time a second, Amy. Time. Amy's doing something interesting. I don't know if Jacob, you're doing it. Um, um, Very interesting point. I gotta teach something with Amy's way of doing it. Jacob, how are you doing? Lucas says he's done. How are you doing, Jacob? Not so good. Okay. Look here. Let me show you what Amy did. And again, if you don't see things changing on the board, Lucas, let me know, because I'm moving boxes around. Amy said put them like this. Okay. And how many did you and then Amy, you did, how many of these did you do?
I was gonna put the 13, but I did just 10.
10?
Mm-hmm.
No, but my question is, how many did you do standing up? How many did you draw
5.
like this? 5. Okay. It's kind of hard to do it on the board with these. But here's my question for you, Amy. How did you know it's 5? Why not 4? Why not 3? Why not 2 or 1? Why not 9 or 10?
I didn't think nothing very mathematic, but
You just picked 5.
no, I put it like that first, the boxes, because I said, okay, so to finish putting these blue boxes and make it easier, I'm just gonna start with 5.
Okay.
You know, that's 5 up and 5 down are already 10, so I can put the other 3s around the box.
Okay. Here's the problem, though. Okay? And everybody help me explain the problem. What is the distance from here to here?
X.
What does X mean?
A number.
It's an unknown number, right?
Yeah.
How do we know what that number is? We don't. We don't know if it's 3. It could be 3. It could be 5. It could be 10. When you arrange the x squares, I'm so glad you did that mistake, because this is what everybody has to learn. When you arrange the factors of the first term, it's got to be the same idea as the third term. Remember, when we took the 4, we had only 2 options. We could do 2 rows of 2 to make a perfect square, or we could do 1 row of 4. We could not do 1 row of 3 and then another row of 1, right? It's the same idea with the x squares. These 3, you only have 2 options. It's because you only have 2 factors. You can do 1 row of 3, or you can do 3 rows of 1. But you have to take the first term and the last term and arrange them in rectangular shapes, and then match up the blue x's. Okay? Very good point. If you don't understand it, please rewind and watch the video after class. You definitely have to understand this part. Lucas, you said you were done. Explain to us how you set up.
No. I did a mistake, because I thought it was just copying what you did, but no, I'm stuck.
Okay.
Okay. I'm stuck.
Remember, we have got to keep the greens and the reds as factors, which means length and width of rectangles, which means if you set it up like this, okay, that is not a rectangle. This is not a rectangle because you have a space missing. You cannot set up the 3 x's that way, just like you could not set up the 4 green boxes this way. Because this space, you have to get factors of both the first term and the third term. So, Jacob, do you have an idea or a question?
Well, I don't know if I understand it, but the x squared can be any number instead of 10.
The x can be any number. We don't know what x is. By the way, in Algebra 2, you will figure... In Algebra 2, I think, or maybe later on towards the end of Algebra 1, you will figure out what x is in these problems. X is a number. But right now, we don't know what the number is. But the question, the idea is, Amy cannot put 3 blue boxes standing up here, because we don't know what x is. X could be 3, x could be 7, or 7,000. Who knows? It's a number. All right, Lucas, question.
I think I did the rectangle. I did it, yeah.
Okay. How did you set up your x's? All right, before you do that, I think Jacob got disconnected in the middle of his question. What were you trying to ask, Jacob?
Well, I built the rectangle, but I don't know if it's correct.
Okay. Let's. Here's the all right. Here's the thing that's important to remember. I don't know if Jacob, you can still hear me, but you have to take both. You have to take both the first term and the third term and arrange them in factors. Either one row of 4 or 4 rows of 1. You have to do it for the third term. Y'all know that from lesson 21. The only thing in lesson 22 is you have to do the same thing with the x's. You have to arrange the 3x squared, the 3, either in one row of 3 or 3 rows of 1. And again, Jacob's not connecting. So how did you set it up, Lucas?
Wait a moment. I will disconnect and I will explain it from the computer.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you
Just
what.
a second. Okay.
We'll take a 5-minute break. We'll let everybody get their connection problems worked out.
Okay.
And then
yeah, sounds good.
Sounds good. Jacob, do you have something? A question? Finish your question again. Amy, you can go ahead and take a break. If you... Jacob, did you have a question? I can't hear you, buddy. Jacob, what I was saying when you were having the disconnection problem is that in lesson 21, we realized that we start with the 4 and we have to arrange it to form a rectangle. Those are called factors. We can do 1 row of 4 or 2 rows of 2. Lesson 22 is teaching us we have to do the same thing with the first term. We cannot draw it like this because those are not factors of 3x squared. We can do 3 rows of 1 or 1 row of 3. It's your choice. But in the same way, in lesson 21, you had to make a rectangle out of the factors of 4. You have to do the same thing with the factors of 3x squared. That's lesson 22. Okay, did you understand that, Jacob?
Yeah, I think.
Okay. And then we have to finish by building the rectangle, but we're taking a 5-minute break to let everybody reconnect and fix the technical problems. And then we'll try to set our big triangle after the break, okay? All right, Amy, let's go.
Seconds.
Okay, are we back ready to continue? That was recorded, you know. We're still recording.
Turn your camera on.
But the screen is being recorded.
Uh,
Okay.
I'm back.
Okay, Jacob, are you with us? Jacob, I cannot hear your microphone. I see that it's on, but I can't hear it. Yes, okay. All right, so can y'all see my finger on the board? Again,
Yes.
okay, good. Again, what I was trying to teach is, look, you see this arrow here? This is lesson 21. We get the factors of 4 and we arrange them, rows and columns. That would add up to give us our x's. That's lesson 21. Lesson 22 is do the same thing with the first term. We didn't have to do anything with the first term because 1 times 1 is 1. There's only one option. It was the question you asked, numbers 9 and 10, right? There's only one option, 1 times 1. Lesson 22 is different. Okay, so we find factors. We set up the boxes either as 3 rows of 1 or one row of 3. It doesn't matter. They're both the same. Okay, I'm going to choose three rows of 1. Okay, and I have to I'm going to choose, because of the way I drew the boxes, I'm going to choose 1 row of 3. Okay, because all my boxes are horizontally. Because I'm going to now start putting my boxes here like this. Here's 1, and I have 13 of these x's to put in place. All right, and mentally you should be able to do this in your head a little bit quickly because you know the multiples of 3, right? I mean, here we have 6 boxes. Hey, thanks for your help, Lucas. Whoops, we got one a little bit different. Hey, come on, why won't you spin? Let me just do this. Delete that last one and redraw it. That last one has to be drawn like this. horizontally, and then your 4 greens can go as one column of 4 here. Yes, Jacob, do you have a question?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
So, is it wrong to assume that the x squareds can be like any number? Like, if I want the x to be like 4 units, is it wrong to do that?
No, look at number 3. Number 3 has a 4 in front of the x squares. Number 4 has a 2 in front of the x squares. Okay? It doesn't...
So I did... Can you see my... Can you see my camera? I did this.
No, okay, no, you cannot do that. This is what Amy tried to do, and again, you probably had connection problems, because look, you cannot set your x's like this. You cannot set your x's like this, because that's not a rectangle. Does this form a rectangle? Yes or no? No, it's not a complete rectangle. That means it's supposed to show you that these are not factors. We are looking for factors. And remember, factors are rows and columns that form rectangles. You cannot multiply, what is that, 2 times 1? What? I mean, what's the rows and columns? What? No, you can't, you cannot do this. The only way you can do it, well, there's 2 ways. For 3, you can do one column of 3, or you can do it like that, or you can do it like this. Those are the only 2 factors of 3. Okay? Just like we learned, I mean, mira, Jacob, es muy similar, es igual como lección 21. Es que en 21 es solo los cajas verdes. Can you do this? Is this okay to do the factors of 4? ¿Qué? ¿Puedes dividir los factors de 4 así? No. No puedes, porque este no existe. Este no son los factores. La idea es lo mismo como con de x a las 2. Es lo mismo. Todo es lo mismo. Ponga los factores. Does that make it a little bit clearer?
Yes.
Okay. So the only thing that works is this part right here. It's the only thing that works. Well, you can change the, obviously, length and width. You can say 3x plus 1 is the width, but that's the only combination. Okay? Okay. Any questions drawing? Are we good?
Yes.
Now, all right, Lucas, Jacob, how are we doing? Smiley face is good? Eliana, you have a smiley face? Ooh, Eliana, I didn't see your smiley face. Rewind the video, go back and watch it again. Okay, now, how would we do? All right, we know the answer. Okay, and I'm going to write the answer down. We know that it is, whoops, we know it's 3x plus 1 and x plus 4, right? That was the answer. Was that right? Once again, I got to rewind just to make sure. Okay, yes, I did. It's the answer. Now, how would we do this the shortcut way? Again, it's the same thing we learned in lesson 21 with one little thing different. We have to do the factors of the first term just like we did the factors of the last term. Because in lesson 22, the first term is no longer a 1. So, what do? We list the factors of 4. Factors of 4 are, there's 2 combinations, right? And then we list the factors of 3. Well, that's only 1 combination. So, how many possibilities are there? I can do this combination times that, or this combination times that. Or I can change the order. This combination times that. Okay? So there's really 3 possibilities. Because I can do, like for example, 1x. I can put the 1 and the 3 in this order. But what I'm trying to tell you with the 4 and the 1, there's 2 possibilities because I can put the 1 here and the 4 there. Mm-hmm. Or I can put the 4 here and the 1 there. You see, I can change the order. There's 2 possibilities.
Could it be the same? Because
will it give you the same answer? Is that what you're asking?
Yes, doesn't matter the way we put it.
Good question. Let's check. Is this the same? Let's check. Check the middle term. Look what happens in the middle term here. What's the middle term here? 1x times 1? 1x.
I'm sorry, yes.
What's 4 times 3x?
12x.
Okay. What's the middle term in my second example? 1x times 4?
It's 4x.
1 times 3x.
Yeah, 3x.
Ah. Do we get the same?
No.
Are these the same? No, the middle term is different.
Yeah.
That's the effect of the order of putting 1 and 4 in the correct place. So it can get very complicated. Imagine. You have to do the 3 combinations. Now, sometimes you can when you get better and better, you will be able to look at those combinations and you'll be able to guess which pattern works. Yeah. But for now, you just have to check all 3 of them. Kind of interesting, right?
Isn't there a shortcut? Because I know that we're not going to work with simple
numbers,
yeah.
The shortcut is you just get used to it. It's like getting used to multiplying and dividing. You can kind of know which numbers multiply and divide and add up to give you 13.
So there is no shortcut for the factors?
No. You just have to check the patterns. But I promise you, by the end of lesson 22, you will get pretty quick at this. It doesn't take long for you to kind of guess what the correct answer is. Okay? Okay. You will get good at it. And by the way, if, I'm just saying if none of these did not give you the 13x, if none of these gave you the middle term, then you would have to check, you would have to go to the third option. Remember, there are three options: 1x plus 2 and 3x plus 2. There's three options. And you just have to check the middle term. Now you know why I told y'all to check the middle term like this in lesson 21, because it saves space. If you were putting all this beneath it, you would use up a half a page just to do one problem.
Yeah.
Okay? But just checking the middle term and doing it like this, you can do it really quickly and save space. I know that makes you happy, Lucas. Come on, put me a smiley face on your profile page, your profile pic. Okay, now look at number 3. Number 3 gets even more complicated because you have two options for 4 and you have two options for 4x squared. You have 1x times 4x, or you have 2x times 2x. So how many combinations are there? I mean, how many things are there? You know, you can do this times this times that. But remember, you can also change, you know, to say 4 times 1. You can change the order. That will affect the first combination. So you have 3 options there. And then you have 3 more. No, you have 2 more with 2x and 2x. So really, you have 5 combinations that you have to check. And you're probably thinking that's a lot. Well, again, if you think, okay, I'm going to try to get 8x. And again, once you get used to it, you can kind of do this kind of quickly. Okay? This is what I would recommend you doing. You're starting off, you don't know how to do this kind of quickly in your head, so just start with the x and the 4x. Start off like this. And then just try some numbers. Okay, I'm going to try the 1 and 4. And check the middle term. Does this? Woo! Nailed it first time. That gives me 8x. And there's my answer. Because this gives me 4x and this gives me 4x, and so boom, nailed it the first time. I was hoping I didn't nail it the first time because you can learn so much from repeating it. Let's say the middle term was, actually this is kind of interesting because look, there are 2 ways to do the rectangle. I could have set up the 2x like this. And my 4 could have been like this. Check the middle term. This also gives me 4x and 4x. So, ooh, that's interesting. This combination has 2 answers. What? How is that possible? Well, doesn't 4, the number 4, have 2 ways of doing the rectangle? You can set up 1 row of 4 or 2 rows of 2. You can set up the rectangle in 2 ways. It's the same idea here in algebra. So yes, there are 2 possibilities. We forgot to draw the rectangles on number 3. So,
in this lesson, do we need to draw each one of these?
If the instructions tell you build it, yes, draw it out. We need that door closed, please. It's very cold. I don't mind you coming and going. Just keep it closed. Okay. All right. But again, you can draw the triangle and the rectangle. Remember the first term when drawing the rectangle. I tell you what. Lucas, why don't you take and draw the rectangle with the 2x squared and the 2x squared, the 2x plus 2 and the 2x plus 2. Use the 2x ways, and I will draw it.
In which problem?
In number 3. 4. So that way we can get both pictures up on board, and I will do it the other way.
Okay.
Okay. You have to have 4x squared, so you're doing the 1 row of 4. Okay, I'll do the 2 rows of 2. Alrighty then. And so here you see 2 different ways to arrange the rectangles. You can do you can arrange the x squares as 1 row of 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You still have 8 x's. Or you can arrange the x squares as 2 rows of 2's, and you'd still have 8 x's. Both of those rectangles give you 4x squared plus 8x plus 4. Jacob, question?
I already did number 4.
Okay. So y'all try number 4, but do it both ways. Do the draw the rectangle first on your paper for number 4. Okay. Remember to arrange the x's either 1 row of 2 or 2 rows of 1. You have your 5's, and then you have to arrange, draw your rectangle for number 4. And then off to the side, do the shortcut way. Do it both ways. Okay, and see if you get the same answer both ways. Did you do it both ways? Okay. Lucas, did you do it both ways or you did just the drawing?
I did both ways.
Okay, good deal. You got the same answer both times?
Yes.
All right, Jacob, how are you doing? Okay, it doesn't matter, but you got the answer. How you doing, Jacob?
Good.
I mean, did you finish the drawing?
Yeah, the drawing, but I'm a bit confused with the second one.
Okay. So the second part, again, this is how you would do it the other way. Okay. You start with factors of 5, and this is why I told you write them out off to the right last lesson. Because on this lesson, you have to put the factors of 2x squared off to the left. And the factors of 2x squared are just x and 2x. So now we have to arrange them. And here there's only 2 options. I can do this, x plus 1, 2x. Whoops, I like to put the other factors in a different color. So I can do x plus 1 or 2x plus 5. Or I can change the 5 and the 1. And write it this way. I can say x plus 5 and 2x plus 1. How do you know which one is correct?
Because the first time I did that, yeah, the one you're doing, it was incorrect. So I tried
You check the middle term. And this is what I'm saying to you. Sooner or later, you're going to click. Something's going to click in your mind. And you're going to say, oh, it's obvious. 11x is a big number. I need to multiply 2 times 5 to get the big number 10, and then I can add the 1x. Pretty soon you'll be able to do that real quick. Okay? And you can easily see it's the second term that gives me the 11x. So that's the correct answer. But pretty soon you'll be able to do that quickly. You won't even have to write it out. Yes, Lucas.
Yeah, I have a question. Is there a problem that I did these factors, the first factors that I did backwards, like 2x and x.
No,
Is it right or
not a problem, because you know 2x plus 1 is the same thing as, 2x plus 1 times x plus 5 is the same thing as x plus 5 times 2x plus 1.
Okay.
Yeah, so no, it doesn't matter. All right. Very good. Very good. Very good. We'll call it a day. We'll stop there for today. I don't think we'll have time to do any more problems, but don't worry, we'll continue some more next week. Tomorrow you do lesson test 21, and we'll practice some more of this next week. Aren't you glad I made you do things my way?
No, yeah.
All right, my friends. I hope y'all have a good afternoon. I will put the link to this YouTube video on the platform in case you do want to go back and rewatch it, and you know, I will put it on the platform. But anyway, have a good afternoon. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye,
You're
Annie.
welcome.
Bye, Jacobo. Bye. Eliana's not here. Bye.